I'm running 3 times per week, a tempo, interval workout, and long run, plus 3 cycling workouts of equal intensity and 1 rest day per week. As a runner and cyclist, is this level of training sustainable or is it too much? Scott.
Okay, Scott, fantastic question. So you're essentially doing 6 workouts per week. You're doing 4 more intense workouts, and I would call these workouts. So it's when you're running faster than your comfortable pace, or when you're cycling faster than your comfortable pace. So, and then the final 2 workouts are either a long ride or a long run. So your question is this sustainable or is it too much? It kind of depends. So is it sustainable? I would have to say not year round. I don't think that you can be doing 4 challenging workouts per week year round. Especially if you're an older runner, if you're over maybe 35 or 40, you're going to have to reduce the intensity and focus a little bit more on recovery. It depends a little bit on the goals of your training right now. So, you know, if this is the peak phase of your training, so let's say you have a race in 4 to 6 weeks, then obviously you're going to be doing a little bit more intensity and maybe less mileage. Of course, it depends on the type of race that you're training for. But in any periodized plan, that's the general kind of flow of how your workouts will look. But again, should you do it the entire year? Probably not. Can you do it for a short period of time to get you race ready? Definitely, I think so. And you mentioned being a cyclist as well as a runner. So if you're getting ready for bike races in addition to road races or any other kind of running race, or even if you're doing some triathlons, then I think this kind of a program is very good during the peak phase of your training. So one thing I will mention about the question, is it too much? That really depends on you. For some runners, 40 miles a week is too much mileage for them. For other runners, that's a recovery week. That's barely running at all. So it really depends on what you are personally comfortable with. And I don't think the volume of your current training program is too much or unsustainable. The one aspect of your program that might be unsustainable is the overall intensity. So you might be doing too much harder work and not enough just easier work. Fantastic book by Matt Fitzgerald came out a few months ago called 80-20 Running. And the general philosophy here is that 80% of your overall mileage should be at an easy, comfortable effort. And this is modeled after the elite runners. Even the pros are doing 80% of their mileage at a relatively easy effort. And I think too many recreational runners are pushing the pace on their easy days. They're making too many of their runs moderate as opposed to just going easy. There's no difference physiologically with running 8-minute pace or 8:30 pace, for the most part. If that's your easy pace range and you have a recovery day, run 8:30 pace, don't run 8-minute pace. The goal there is to facilitate recovery, not to gain fitness. So, I would just take a hard look at how you're feeling. Are you feeling run down? Are you struggling with recovery? Are you able to hit your required paces and speeds while you're running and biking? And if so, if you are hitting your paces, you don't feel run down, maybe the intensity there isn't too high. But I would probably urge you to cut back a little bit. 4 quality workouts per week is pretty substantial, and maybe focus a little bit more on volume. Most runners, especially those who are running only 3 days per week, would see a lot more fitness benefits and better times in their races if they were to simply run a little bit more mileage, maybe go from 3 to 4 days a week, maybe during a 3 to 5 week peak phase, they're running 5 days per week. But again, it kind of depends on what you yourself are comfortable doing, what your goals are, what your race goals are, and also, just how you're feeling. But that's a really fantastic question. Kind of my Cliff Notes version for answer for this question is the intensity might be too much. I would probably have you err a little bit on doing less intensity but more volume. and then you'll probably be able to transition a little bit better to more race-specific training, maybe a little bit less biking, a little bit more running in a few months when you get to that. But really fantastic question, Scott. Thanks.